Guys are on.
Okay, my name's Larry Stuart, and this is Bill Richards, Wild Bill to everyone. And
that's a knife?
Well, that was a name that was stuck with me.
I gave you.
Yeah. And,
Why?
There's a story. Okay, well, why to that? We used to have this. First of all, he started out with this sort of a competition with boot knives. He was bringing on board the aircraft one day, and I always had a knife of my own, and then one day I showed up with the crocodile Dundee Bowie knife, and I guess sort of won the competition, but unfortunately I got stuck with the name too. So.
I think it's a good name.
Yeah. Well, first time I met Wild Bill, I guess it's the main reason I wanted to say a little bit of something here was I had just my first operational mission ended up being in Egypt in a deployment in a contingency operation, what we call Eagle Look.
Eagle Look.
Eagle Look. And I arrived in the back of a C-141 with a lot of equipment and about 3 other people, and didn't know what I was exactly getting into, but we eventually made our way to Cairo West, and sitting around in tents wasn't the greatest experience. I'd just gotten out of ground tax a couple years before, and I thought, my God, I didn't know I was getting back into this stuff. So anyhow, as luck would have it, I ran into Bill about a day later, while we're all sitting there wondering where we're at. This wildly positive guy down in a command post, and it seemed like he was running the place, and which was kind of interesting since he was a second lieutenant at the time. And so anyway, he kind of introduced himself, and it's been a lifelong friendship ever since. The thing that's interesting about us, we managed to get to a restaurant in Cairo one day, and when we were in there, some guy comes up to us and said, well, hey, you know, you need to come down and buy some perfume from our friend. And we both had wives at the time, and well, he still does, I guess I do too. But, so sight unseen, we had no clue what we were getting into. Jumped in the back of a taxi with some guy racing through the streets of Cairo, had no clue where we were going. And somewhere in the middle of this, we thought, what the heck are we doing here? We don't know this guy. We have no idea where we're going. And so at that point in time, we hit a stoplight or something, and both of us jumped out of the car. Like, of course, we had no clue where we were at then either. So after a little persuasion, a guy got us back in the car. We ended up at a perfume merchant's place. When we walked into the room, it was kind of a darkly lit room. I'll never forget this guy. Really kind of a large, big bone Arabic guy. As it turned out, he was Syrian, which, you know, bells started going off in our heads right away then, because it wasn't that many years removed from some of the Arab-Israeli conflicts. And he just kind of he had the perfect what am I trying to say here?
Mannerism?
Yeah, mannerisms. You know, kind of a terrorist in a way. You know, we're sitting there. My God, you know, yeah. So he starts bringing out some of his perfume and explaining a few things. And then we look up on the wall and see he has a picture of him and Robert Kennedy, of all people. He talked about some other famous politicians he'd met and stuff like that. So our fears got allayed a little bit. We ended up both buying some perfume to bring home to our wives and stuff. And then we ended up getting in a cab and making it our way back to the restaurant that we departed from. But unfortunately, when you make those deployments, particularly the first time, you know, they give you all these shots. You know, you have your shot record and all that stuff. But unfortunately, there's one they don't give you, and that's the dumbass vaccine. And everybody needs one of those.